Glenn Levine. I'm an associate professor of German at UC Irvine. Here I teach courses in German Jewish culture and history, as well as Eastern European Jewish culture and history. That's really about Yiddish. I like to teach courses as well on European culinary history. I'm really excited about teaching an EAP 50th anniversary course this coming summer, 2012, on this topic of Jews in German-speaking Europe from the medieval period to the present. To my mind, this is the most wonderful way that you could possibly teach history and culture on site where that history really happened. The course I put together will take place in 6 different locations in Germany, the Czech Republic, and Austria. It'll begin really with a historical sweep, a historical survey, going both chronologically and geographically through these cities, beginning in Frankfurt and Cologne, where Jews settled really with the Romans, but had a flowering of culture and life and learning for many centuries through the medieval period and into the early modern period. And in Frankfurt and Cologne there are both museums that we'll see, as well as archaeological sites that we'll get tours of and see the ruins underground, for instance, of a synagogue and Jewish ritual bath. And from there we'll go on to Hamburg, which was a major center of commerce and of trade between Germans and Jews, of course, but also between German-speaking Jews and and Sephardic Jews. Those are Spanish and Portuguese Jews. So the Institute for Jewish History in Hamburg has opened its doors and said they'd love to give us a tour of several of these really fascinating sites in the city of Hamburg and the neighboring city of Altona right there. From there we'll go to Berlin and we'll learn about the Age of Enlightenment, the Age of Jewish Enlightenment called the Haskalah, and especially the towering figure of Moses Mendelssohn, the father of Jewish Enlightenment, and it coincides with the emancipation of the Jews from centuries of living enclosed in ghettos and their difficult struggle for emancipation in the 19th century, and all the problems and conflicts that brought, both within the Jewish community as well as between Jews and non-Jews. And from there we're going to go on to Prague. And in Prague we'll start to learn about the Austrian Empire and the Jews' place in it, the interesting tensions between German-speaking Jews and Czechs, of course, but also between German-speaking Jews and Yiddish-speaking Jews of Eastern Europe. And in Prague we're also going to see the oldest standing synagogue in Europe, along with its cemetery, which is something that everybody should see. It's the most fascinating cemetery, Jewish cemetery, really that exists. And from there we'll go on to Vienna, and we'll learn about the Austrian Empire and the ways that Jews lived and thrived and struggled in that country. And in particular we'll learn about some of the important figures in Austrian life and culture, such as Sigmund Freud. So you'll see the house where he lived and worked, and that very couch where he conducted his psychotherapy sessions. And from there we're going to go back to Berlin and deal with probably the most painful chapter of European Jewish history, the Holocaust. And there we will visit the site of a concentration camp near Berlin, and we will see the several museums and exhibitions around Berlin that deal with the Holocaust. We'll read some of the memoirs of Holocaust survivors, and I also plan to have at least one of the authors do a reading with us, for our group. But then we're going to move on and look at the post-war period. Really, really amazing decades since the war, when German Jewish life reestablished itself and became something that was both a continuation of what had been for centuries, as well as something completely new, especially in the time since 1990, when there was an influx of Soviet Jews who really reinvigorated Jewish life in Germany in totally new ways. And there we'll meet with members of the Jewish community and there we will read and hopefully hear directly from several working authors who will come and share their works. I think you can see that my view of understanding history isn't just about reading history books or even just looking at museums. It's about also literature and art and music and all the things that go to making up a culture. And it is my hope that all the students in this course will leave with a very deep knowledge, a deep understanding of what German Jewish culture was about, which was much, much more than some sort of culmination in the Holocaust. And in the process, I hope too that the students will learn about the countries that we visit, Germany, the Czech Republic, and Austria, in a way that makes them all want to go back there and perhaps spend more time and delve into those cultures, even beyond the focus on Jewish culture and history. So if you want to find out more information, you can go to the EAP website, of course, but you can also email me directly anytime at glevine@uci.edu. Hope to see you next summer.